Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be looking over Studio Series 86 Arcee. Now, I think this figure looks really good, especially for smaller areas. She has a surprising amount of detail and sculpting, especially in the painted areas like here with the eyes and the lips, and she has some very nice details here around the waist and the legs, and the arms are very well sculpted. And I think, in terms of appearances, maybe one of the better G1 Arcees. And wait a minute. Very clever, Hasbro. In terms of accessories, she has this little pistol which you can put into her hand. And I found that if you get it just right, you can pose her to have it to be holding it with both hands, which I think is pretty neat. In terms of articulation, she has a wide range of motion in the arms, and her head is obviously on a ball joint, so you can make her look in pretty much any direction. Her legs have a wide range of motion. There's a lot of 360 joints, and especially this bicep swivel does a lot of work in the posing department. Although I found on my copy, it may not be the same on every copy, but I found on my copy that the bicep swivel, it's very loose on the left leg, so that when I try to pose it, the left leg will just go and she'll fall over. I'll go on Reddit looking for a solution, and if I can find a solution, I'll put it in the description of this video. And she also has a very big ankle tilt, which is very good for posing. And before we get into the transformation, we got to discuss the elephant in the room. This is a Shellformer. Now, for those of you who aren't privy to Transformers lingo, a Shellformer is basically any figure that kind of just crumples up into a hollowed out cavity in their alt mode, hence the term Shellformer, not to be confused with the word shelf warmer, which she also is in my state. Now, do I think this is an issue? In this case, I'm willing to overlook it because they really have a bad, because in terms of this figure, the design team really was dedicated to cartoon accuracy. And when looking at 86, at the original design for Arcee, it was not, you could tell they had no plans of how to make this into a toy. Even those prototypes you can find online of a toy for Arcee didn't have her transforming. They just had her as the robot mode, and it would just come with a car. So they really kind of had to make her a Shellformer in order to maintain that G1 design and to keep her cartoon accurate. So in this case, I'm willing to overlook it. But in terms of that back kibble, which also makes her a pain in the butt to pose because there is so much weight on the back, which means she's constantly falling over. In terms of that back kibble, I have found that you are able to remove this under part. So I'm just going to show you that right now. Just going to move all these parts out of the way, and I'm just going to. There's this little piece right here. There's a little bit right here. If you just pull it, you can just reattach it whenever. And let's just get her back. It's a lot like, I think it was Earthrise Arcee, where you could take off the back kibble and it, I don't know, turns into a surfboard. That was a weird toy. I don't have it though. And you get a lot, and here, now it's even more cartoon accurate because you only have the top kibble. Now, what do I think of this mode? Personally, I see no issue with it. If you want to pose her like this, or if you want to display her like this, that's no issue with me. Personally, I don't like parts forming. I think it's cheap on the design side. I definitely think it's a cop out in terms of design and transformation. And I've seen that's why a lot of people didn't like the Earthrise figure, because there was so much parts forming. So if you want to display her like this, that's fine with you. Personally, I like it. I don't mind the back kibble. I'm willing to work with the back kibble rather than against it. Let's just push that back in. And now that we've got all that out of the way, we can finally get into the transformation. So for the transformation, you're just going to pull her out like this, and get the head there, and you'll have the chest as that part of the front. And then back here, you're going to want to flip out these. And there's a bit of issue with clearance regarding these little panels and this, I don't know what to call that thing. We're just going to call it a zippy. You're going to want to try to just push it over, and then you're going to push that tab out. Now with the arms here, you're going to want to be careful with them in, because if you don't push them in at the right angle, they're going to get stuck. And I found the way you fix that is you literally just have to untap. You have to literally pull out the arms by just removing them from the sockets, which is frustrating. Well, at least that was frustrating when I first started transforming her, and I was an idiot. And then you want to put her feet like this, and then they're going to tab into this little slot in her waist. You want to push the legs in as far as you can, and with that, we have a pretty good alt mode. I like the way this looks. If you're not looking at the bottom, you almost can't tell this was a Shellformer. So yeah, I think her alt mode looks pretty good. I like it. Now we can get into the untransformation. There. And there we go. So what are my final thoughts on Studio Series 86 Arcee? Once again, a wonderful addition from the Studio Series line. If you find her in your local Target or Walmart and you have the spare change, I would highly recommend you pick her up. Definitely worth the buy. Now, that is all the thoughts I had on this figure. If you agree with me or don't think my opinion is right, definitely just tell me that in the comments below. And if you like the video, there is a button for that. And if you want to see when the next one of these videos comes out, definitely hit that subscribe button. So thank you everyone for watching, and bye.